Namaste, everyone. I wanted to take this opportunity to give a shout out to my grandfather for his birthday. This is his birthday, September 10th, and he is still alive. And I wanted to really acknowledge that I draw a lot of spiritual power, a lot of human power, and just confidence and a sense of placement in the world, a context. A lot of that comes from my genealogy, my genetic lineage, my father, my grandfather, all of the women in my family, my mother's father, who's not with us anymore. But I wanted to acknowledge Grandpa Donald De Vilbiss, because it's just so inspiring when I'm going on my journey and I have so many obstacles in the way, you could say, of achieving the level of mastery, success, and fulfillment that I deserve, that I'm longing for. Not that something is owed to me, but that I deserve it for myself. I owe it to myself. And I draw a lot of that courage from, my double war veteran or triple war. I don't know how many wars he's been to. I know he has 2 Purple Hearts. And when I think about the challenges that I'm overcoming constantly, and there's always new ones, and that's a thrill. That's my battle, because I don't take up arms and go overseas and do those sorts of things. And even though I might have difference of opinions with my grandfather over politics or religion or whatever, it's undeniable that in my family and in this culture, in this country of the United States, that people like my grandfather are the backbone of this country. And whether I agree or disagree is not the point. The point is that someone had to step up and do something at many junction points throughout the history of, let's say, the United States. Probably every country has this. And at those junction points, it was men like my grandfather that did that. And from a really, really hard upbringing, we don't need to get into it, but obviously, everybody, you go back far enough in history, everybody had a hard upbringing. And it gets harder and harder the further back you go. It's a myth that it gets more peaceful as you go back in time. Like, oh, the sacred ancients, no, it gets worse and worse and worse as you go back. And so all of those things overcome, I think, to, my own father, graduated Ranger School and West Point with a broken neck. And not like a little broken neck, like, a hairline fit. Not like a Christopher Reeves, like I pushed 1 vertebra over to the side. Like 4 vertebrae smashed, inch in height lost, spinal cord 50% impingement from bones just digging into the spine. And then, okay, now let me go to Ranger School. And then there's my grandpa. And my grandpa, so the stories, they're kind of unbelievable. And so I don't want to talk about them. I don't know that he'd want me to talk about them, but I draw a lot of courage. So I wanted to give a shout out. Happy birthday, Grandpa. It's also my birthday. We have the same birthday. So 31 years ago, my mother gifted to my grandfather his first grandson. And so super shout out, Grandpa. I would invite everybody to that watches this to look at the victories in your life and look at the victories in your family history. It's undeniable. You're alive. If you're alive and watching this, there's been a lot of victories. And yeah, sure, there's maybe lots of defeats, but I was watching a nature movie with Brian, my roommate, the other day, and the top predator, I forget what it was, but all kinds of top predators, like the polar bear, failed 19 out of 20 hunts. And so that's a 5% success rate. But he's not depressed about it. He just goes to the next and the next and the next until you success. And so there's been a lot of successes that have you here in your life right now watching this video, and a lot of successes in your family, a lot of victories, a lot of guys getting the girl, and a lot of women, surviving that very risky childbirth and then raising you, or whoever your caregivers were did that. And so there's a source of power there to be drawn from, and it's a very powerful practice to just take a minute, literally 30, 60 seconds, and just acknowledge however many things you can think of in your day. Yesterday a lot of things happened that I was disappointed in. I didn't accomplish, but I lay my head down to rest at night, and I'm like, wow, I did this, I did that, and that's because that's my practice. Like, think of what good things that I did, and it amazed me. There were a lot of things that I did that I hadn't even acknowledged when I did them, and they were challenging, and I accomplished, and it's like, wow. And then I go to bed, go to sleep with this sense of accomplishment, a positive feeling, and so then my unconscious mind can kind of harmonize with a positive vibration while I'm dormant in sleep. And you could do that same thing with your family lineage, and there's a whole lesson I could go deeper into that, but I think that's the gist of it. You probably got something from that. And so in conclusion, just one last time, final shout out to Grandpa Don. Namaste, Grandpa. And also to myself, happy birthday to myself. This is a wonderful day to do pranayama. Every day is. And so I don't actually feel any older until somebody called me and told me I was older, and then I felt older. So, and yeah, podcasts on Friday, Silent Flute on Mondays, and stay tuned for the Heart Seal that comes out October 1st. All right.